Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I have a very special guest. I have Carlos. How do you say your last name?
Bollinger.
Bollinger. I wasn't sure, so I always ask people.
I think you can actually the way you pronounce it in the review is fine because I think that's a German pronunciation, which is
Mhm.
the original. But because I live in England, they pronounce it Bollinger, so it's Bollinger.
Right, right. And you were you born there or were you born somewhere else?
No, I was born in Venezuela, South America, and when I was about to be 23 years old, I moved to England in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so I
Yeah.
came to study here at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning music technology, but then you know moved
Right.
forward to filmmaking.
Yeah, I've never been to the UK, but I want to go there
Okay.
someday.
Oh please, yeah, you will love it. It has very cinematic places that literally like especially London. You go to places and you think you're in a film.
Right. So, so have you directed any other movies besides Clay's Redemption?
Well, recently I finished a production, but as a producer, and before Clay directed just short films.
Okay.
Even like I have like a well, which is very related to Clay. I did a proof of concept of 11 minutes, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
called Welcome to Cobalt Live, and it was supposed to be the feature films I was going to work on before Clay, but
Mm-hmm.
sort of because I wanted to do a traditional way, so do a proof of concept and find a big budget, and also
Right.
I got very impatient, so I literally grabbed the camera and started shooting what became now Clash Redemption.
Yes, and it was a really good action movie. Like right from the beginning, it was so action, and that's what drew me to this movie per se. Because like I like action movies, I like a lot of action movies and comedy, but it has a little bit of both in there, which
Yeah,
I really liked.
yeah. I didn't to be like I think we talked previously. I said in my head I want to do a Carpenter film, right? And Carpenter,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, John Carpenter can give you many genres in the same film. You know, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you laugh and it's a comedy and it's a thriller then again, and it's so I didn't actually started thinking, oh, this is gonna be an action film, more like a probably thriller, neo
Right.
noir thriller. But then those action scenes when they came about to make them, I think that they fits the film really well. I think that they sort of
Right.
keep the film, the dynamic of the film moving forward in a sort of visual way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cinematography in that movie is really, really cool how he shot it and everything and how the actors were and stuff like that. And I know that your main actor, he's played in other movies as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, his latest movie was a part in the Batman, the new Batman
Hmm.
film.
Yes, I
Is
saw the new Batman film.
Yeah, is I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone that's seen it. And if you haven't seen it, go and see it. But it's in the beginning of the film, the first scene, and the second scene. But yeah, almost a
Hmm.
Batman introduction, and yeah, I knew something about it. It gave me a hint, sort of like a few months before the film release. So I was really sort of like, is that one? But he's so many things he's not allowed to talk about. But
Hmm.
you will see his face in few series.
Right. I think he was in a Star Wars or a Star Wars scene or something in the movie, I think, at one point, too.
I don't know if it's Star Wars. I'm sure he's been even in video games. Like literally, Katie.
Hmm.
Once I was playing a video game, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a key. And then I
Hmm.
had to call them, and it's like, is that you? It was the video game Eleanor.
I haven't played
Um,
that one.
yeah, it's actually it's a sort of game is really good, but you can all sort of play once, so
Hmm.
because you discover the mystery of the game, so afterwards it's not as thrilling, but it's incredible game. And it was the beginning of stop motion when they draw the
Hmm.
dots, and but because it was really early technology, Aki mentioned like you at the time you couldn't weren't allowed to move your face, so
Right.
all the expressions need to be sort of with just sorry your head. So all the expressions
Right.
need to be with a really steady
Mhm.
head. So it was really challenging. Um, but
Yeah.
now you know, yeah, it's really.
Right. And Clay's Redemption was all filmed in the UK, right?
Yes, yeah. I would say 80% London and 20% down south in Brighton.
Okay, nice. Was it filmed during the pandemic or after or before?
No, way before. I think we started filming actually 2018.
Okay.
Um, so way before the pandemic, thank God. Um,
Right.
so we sort of filmed for a year, and it was
Mhm.
because it was continuously like when I just did a rough script and we're just following the scenes as we were filming and sometimes changing on the day and things like that. At one point, I realized I just had half an hour of footage, so I sort of need
Mhm.
to sort of rewrite the script and sort of increase and put more sort of characters and so on. So I
Mhm.
end up we filming in on sequential for a year. So we
Mhm.
probably finished 2019. So we spent like a good 10 months in post production, and then we released initially in 2020. Um, but now we're gonna release it now again on probably this month or next month in the in DVD form, I believe as well.
Oh yeah, that would be good. I will get this movie for my collection when it comes on DVD. If I can
Thanks.
find it in the store, I'll get it on a DVD or Blu-ray so that way I can watch it again because it's
What
one of
about you know what
what.
about if I get it? When I go a proposal here. I'll get it. I'll sign it and send it to you.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah. It's on video, so it's like a contract.
Right. Yes, but we could figure that out.
Oh yeah, it's easy. Just post
I'm
it.
sure it's easy to send to the US and the UK. I'm sure it is.
Probably, but it's fine. I'm sure
You know. Do you
there's a
have a
way.
favorite scene that you filmed? Do you have a favorite scene that you filmed?
I have well, I have you know what I have favorite scenes I like when I see the film, but obviously there's certain scenes I really enjoy filming. If that makes any
Mhm.
sense.
Yes, it
So
does.
yeah, so there's a scene in Clay is when they are Clay takes Maya to sort of where he's staying, sort of the
Mhm.
safe house, and they're sort of very quiet. Clay feels really awkward, and then sort of someone called Maya, and then Keltel, you know, turn it off,
Mhm.
and then he's trying to change his bandage, and Maya comes and just change it back and goes back. That's probably my favorite scene of the whole
Right.
film. One of them because I think came out really well. In few words, we can feel Clay doesn't know how to express himself. He's not particularly a great guy, but it's because he's
Mhm.
been in that sort of state of mind for so long. When someone's showing a little bit of care, he's so awkward and he doesn't know what to do. Not even can say thank you even. But Maya understands as well because
Mhm.
she sort of can see through him. So so. And to be fair, is their performance, which is
Right.
Nuxus, which is the actress. She's actually a pop artist, a music
Mhm.
pop artist in England. And Aki, I think just the acting there is phenomenal. So I love watching the scene for that reason.
Right. They're both great actors.
Ah, great. I mean, this is the first acting role of her of Nuxus.
Uh-huh.
She's the first time the thing is I helped produce a music video for her. um so I she's very good acting on camera and music videos, so I knew, okay, I think she has an incredible presence, and I knew she can actually show
Mhm.
emotions and so. But to be fair, that's why she doesn't have any dialogue, because I didn't want to put in the pressure she had to learn the scripts because she had never done it. So I said, okay, I just give you a script, but you're gonna be mute. So
Right.
that's the reason, basically. And the funny thing is, at the beginning when I started shooting with her, she at some point we finished the scene and she would look straight at the camera because
Hmm.
she thinks it's a music video. Or she, as soon as she shoot the camera, I was saying sort of intuition to look at the camera. So it's like, don't look at the camera. The camera, I'm not here.
Right.
So that
That's
was really
funny.
funny.
Yeah. I guess maybe she was nervous a little bit because I know like for actors or directors, it's your first movie or whatever you're gonna do. So I'm sure you have a little bit of nerves
Oh
too.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%. I mean, good thing is it was a really really small team. It was in some point was my son, um, uh, my better half, Rona Walter, which she was one of the creative producers and in charge of the costumes and the set, and
Hmm.
she's that chat director herself. But this time
Right.
was creative producer with my producer Ivo Alexander, who is creative producer as well, and that's it. And me filming, that was it. And they were holding lights and to
Hmm.
put them and
Hey,
we
Patrick.
knew the actors, everyone I worked with, that it's basically the way even people I knew are friends before. And the good thing
Hmm.
after the film, sharing a year together doing this, they become actually one of closest friends now. Most of the
Hmm.
people who work on the film, it was very gratifying sort of project we did
Right.
together.
Yeah, I loved the costumes. The costumes were really cool. How
Ah,
you
yeah,
thought of the costumes.
that was Rona, and they basically, I remember she calling me, okay, what's the budget for a costume? I was like, my credit card, like, and it's not like I got a huge credit card. It's like it's just not much really. Go to
Right.
charity shops, what you call here secondhand shops, and then trying to
Hmm.
find something. And she did incredibly. She
Hmm.
did. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And especially, I'm really keen on Una's costume. You know,
Hmm.
she's very crazy with it. She's her personality and her costume just fit perfectly. So I was really pleased with that.
Right. My friend Patrick saying hi.
Yeah, Patrick.
Um. Yeah. Um. And so, what made you get into directing?
I always wanted to be a director. I the first film I directed was, well, it wasn't a film. I wanted to make a film was when I was 8 years old. Let me see.
Hmm.
Yes, I was 8, and it was a school, and it was like a remake of the Ghostbusters. I was gonna do, and I remember I was the cameraman or camera woman is in this case was the mom of one of my classmates, and
Hmm.
she didn't obviously she didn't let me touch the camera. I said no, I'll do it, and it was a handycam, and yeah, I was directing scene by scene all the Ghostbusters with my friends, and since then I
Right.
always did little projects, animation, anything I could do. The stop motion animation I did a lot with my Master of the Universe figures. So I
Hmm.
always wanted to direct. So it's naturally it was very
Right.
natural from doing
That's
this.
good though. Sometimes it's good to find what your niche and what you like the best. You know.
Yes, and very early on.
Because
Yeah.
even everybody's an artist. Every content creator is an artist in a
Yes.
way.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the fact you hear and get your thoughts on something artistic and creative is creating in a way,
Hmm.
because you need to go to the space to connect to whatever uh, artistic representation you
Right.
looking at or listen, from music to images to audio, films. Of course,
Hmm.
I
So,
totally agree.
what scene took the longest to film? Was there a scene that took the longest to film in particular?
Well, there was a scene that actually is not like it took the longest, but we need to go back and film more of the scene. And is the confrontation with the boss, or Athena, which is played by Blackwood. She's wearing red,
Hmm.
and Johnson, the main villain, played by Joel Redden. And that scene, because what happened is they have a confrontation. Both are excellent actors.
Hmm.
and it was so good for me when I came to edit it. It felt so short. So what I did was I called them back and said, guys, I'm gonna write something to sort of be how do you call fill up the scene more, to give them
Hmm.
more to breathe, and give them time to act, interact, because they were great. So
Right.
I sort of used the previous scene as a sort of bookend into that.
Hmm.
So I would say that's what took the longest, but it's because intentionally I wanted to make the scene better and let the actors to perform a bit more, and I think it came out really well. You obviously, if for anyone who's really like attention to detail, they can see some details of probably in continuation, probably certain bits, but I think it's in overall it came out pretty decent.
Yes, I think the finished product came out pretty decent because it
Thank you.
takes you a long time to edit, go to post production,
Mm.
then the other production, so it takes a long time for all that.
Yeah, it's a lot of patience and a lot of coffee, and a lot because I did most of the post production myself. Because that's sort of my daily job. When I obviously not working a big film production, I do post production for many companies. I from the
Mhm,
BBC here in England. Sometimes I did from eBay. I think I did from some for Apple. So
mhm,
small things, just to pay the bills. And so yeah, so I did sorry, going back to Clay, the other post production myself. I edited it, and I obviously we got a good team, 222, to
mhm,
make the music, and I got a good
mhm,
friend of mine for 20 years actually doing the sound design, called Dom Lancaster.
mhm.
Um, Coffee is life. Totally agree with that. Um,
Yes,
so yeah, it was my lifeblood at those times of
right.
production.
Did you
Um,
you wrote this movie too, right?
yes, I wrote I wrote sort of a bit of the scenes I wanted to see, and with my producer, which is my co-writer in this case, helped me to flesh out the scenes. But basically, to be fair, a week before we shoot every scene, because sometimes I had an idea and I said, okay, I want this to happen. So now we need to write how is this gonna happen. I need to fit the rest of the other beats. So
Right,
it's a lot of, which by the way I want to make available at some point. There's a lot of deleted scenes. There's a lot of outtakes of things like we film in nice locations, but we didn't use because it just didn't make sense. But
right.
I will some point release those so people can see,
Maybe
a
you could
little
put
bit.
it in the DVD as a special feature or something like some movies do.
Yeah, I think it's too late to put it on a DVD, but because I want to really work on them, so to give a good
Mhm.
product, even in the behind the scenes. But I might release it digitally because it would be easier for people to just download and watch on their computers.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people do a lot of streaming nowadays
Oh,
versus physical media.
yeah. I mean, yes. I still old fashioned. I still have my box set collections and my DVDs and my Blu-rays. I still like this sort of,
Mhm.
when people they say in some ancient cultures, making tea is a process. It's not just to put water or anything. It's just like that's what I do with these things. The other day, we watched the whole Lord of the Rings extended editions,
Mhm.
Blu-rays. Wonderful. Brilliant.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan too, so
Ah,
I love those
same.
movies.
I
You
love those
know,
movies.
I want to
Actually,
go to I want to go to New Zealand because they still have the Hobbit holes and
yes,
stuff there.
yes, yeah. And I was gonna say I'm revisiting the books, but as an audiobook form.
Mhm.
And who's narrating them? Aaron Sarkis. I'm pronouncing it right. Basically, the actor who plays Gollum.
Oh wow.
Yes, and he does all the voices, and it's incredible, incredible. Obviously, his Gollum is perfect
Right.
because it's Gollum. So it's a joy to listen to these audiobooks. And normally, when I listen to audiobooks, I start to speed up this other time so I can, be more efficient. Depends if it's
Right.
something practical. In this one, I just let it the normal speed, and it's like 20 hours each book, but it's wonderful. It's 100% recommended. I'm not sponsored by Audible yet, by the way.
Right. Do you have a director or actor that you inspired to become a director? That inspired
Um,
you?
well, to be honest, I got more films that inspire
Mhm.
me to become a director. Then obviously you read, you see further and say, oh, those films I really like is by the same director. So you obviously tend to like the directors afterwards. But in my case, was films that just obviously transform into another place, and
Mhm.
I thought that was magic. Literally going to. I mean, the first film I watched in the cinema was Return of the Jedi, and
Mhm.
for that literally blew my mind. And when I realized, hey, someone can create this. Hey, I wanna.
Mhm.
That's a good job. I wanna be on that job to create something so people can actually experience the same
Right.
experience. If that makes any sense. So
Mhm.
then obviously that you watch these films. Like I love Blade Runner. Um,
Mhm.
then obviously Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and then you read about it, and you're like, oh, George Lucas created this, and Ridley Scott
Mhm.
created this, and Spielberg created this, and Indiana Jones and so on. So you then, oh, okay, I'm gonna follow that director. But
Right.
I think, yeah, no, I think as a beginner, as a filmmaker, I think it was just films themselves that sort of sold me the job.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. Everybody should follow their dreams no matter how big or small they can be. You can't tell anybody no.
Oh yeah, and I don't want to put myself into that, but that was I'm from Venezuela, which is a very challenging country in terms of
Mhm.
life standards. And if you say I was going to be a filmmaker, it would be not laughable but worrisome. I think my family was really worried about me when I was really young because I had these sort of artistic inclinations, which means at least at the time I grew up, you're not gonna find a job, especially there, and there's no more support, and you will struggle. But
Right.
I ignore all that, and I mean, to be fair, what I did was, well, I realized that's a reality, that's a fact here in this country. When I was in my late teens, I think, okay, I noticed that, but I really want to follow my dreams. What should I do? What about if I go to another place where probably that will be easier? We all the set of challenges, especially learning the language from zero, or
Mhm.
learning the culture because it's a bit of a culture shock. But just move forward. That's it.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
there's no other way if you wanna have a life, as they say.
Right. And you're in England now, right? Or the
Yes.
UK?
Yeah,
England.
yeah. I've been here for like now 22 years now. So yeah,
Wow. And it's
yeah.
different from what you're accustomed to in Venezuela. It's different.
Yes, it is different, but to me, I'm gonna be. I think in a 1 year, I'm gonna be at much time here in England than I was in Venezuela. So I actually Venezuela now is almost like a nice memory, but I don't like culture-wise. I think I adapted really well here in England.
Right.
Obviously, I still have an accent, and I always will have, and I still, I
Right.
know where I come from. You know,
Right.
but
Was it hard? Was it hard for you to learn English?
But at the beginning, yes. I mean, no, well, not really, because I grew up a lot with films, and I always like to. And then I never liked the dub version of the film, where the dub in Spanish, so I can understand.
Mhm.
So always trying to go into the sort of subtitles, even if anything.
Mhm.
So I grew up with and I love the Beatles as well. So I used to read the lyrics and trying to translate them. So I had certain knowledge of English, so it was very broken when I came
Mhm.
to England, and it took me a while to understand sometimes to people. But like anything, I think after 2 years, I was like, okay, I feel comfortable now I can hold a conversation.
Right. And that's good too. What
Yeah,
would you tell a starting out director? What would you tell them?
you know what? I got really a specific and practical advice for any person who want to be directing. Just sign up to a 48 hour challenge. So basically, I think there's some few out there, but here in England, is one really popular. I think it's a London science fiction 40-hour challenge. So you get 2 days to write, shoot, deliver a film, a short
Mm-hmm.
film for 5 minutes. And actually, the Rogue One director, uh, uh, Gareth Edwards, he came actually from that challenge. He's actually after that challenge,
Mm-hmm.
I think he did Monsters and then Godzilla and then Rogue One. So so basically, what you do in the challenge is 2 days of filmmaking. It's like a boot camp. It's the best
Mm-hmm.
training you will need. Um, yeah, it's the best training you will need to start into direction because if you I
Mm-hmm.
remember I love those doing those things and I did 5 of them and I think I call the most experience I ever gonna have in
Right.
filmmaking, which it helped me a lot when I get to do clay in guerrilla style. So I would say that to anyone want to be there, just join in, Google what's the next one. And the thing is, that's how do you call that, accountability? Something like that. Like
Yes.
yeah, they're epic. I agree. Um, yeah, so it give you like a deadline and you get a group, so you need to work as a group. You if you want to be a producer, you need to have to produce in today's directors, you have to actors as well. It work for every person of the team. Composers need to compose something on the go,
Mm-hmm.
sound designers. I would say, and then do as much as you can, and then when you hit the 5 mark or the 6 mark, you're ready to go and tackle a feature. Promise you. It just
Right. If you guys have any questions for Carlos, you guys can also ask questions if you guys like too. Um and um so everybody that's in the chat is actually from the film community, a lot of them. So they
cool.
know all about films as well.
Nice. That's great.
Yes. Yes. So did you when you started your film, did you know what actors you wanted or actresses, or how did
Yeah.
you find them?
Well, the main actors, yes, because basically, it's some people I worked before in certain way or another, or people who watch my work before and they say, "Wow, that looks great. Next time you do something, call me." And basically, that's it. I really say, "You know what? I'm doing something. What are you doing this Saturday?" Was literally like that. And actually, with a key, I remember. I tell you exactly the moment when I said, "You know what? We can do this." We were on his birthday and we were in a pub in London, and it was like a small group
Mm-hmm.
there, and I think I still have the picture, posted the picture. So I was taking my phone camera, and he stood up, and it was a very strong neon red lighting hitting him, half
Mm-hmm.
and he's looking down, and it looks moody, but the whole frame was beautiful. I mean, I saw the picture, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm making the film with him, and
Right.
I asked asked him if he wanted to be in the film. He thought about it because it was going to be a challenge, but he said yes, which I'm really happy about.
That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I like all the colors and the
yeah,
background scenery and all that. It's neat how some parts were like different colors and stuff.
hmm
It's really cool.
yeah, and the whole other purpose, like it wasn't from the beginning. I said, okay, nothing needs to be just because it looks pretty. Something needs to, at least subconsciously, people will pick up when they see certain colors that will trigger them. That
Hmm.
was my intention. I mean, when I back in Venezuela, I did a bit of fine art, not too long, but probably just 2 years or a year course of fine art. But I always like painting as well. So always interesting, like the Impressionism movement or post Impressionism
Hmm.
with Van Gogh. So that combination of color who um, reflects a mood, and it's a good book. But well, it's not. It's a collection of letters Van Gogh sent to his brother Theo, what explains colors in certain of his paintings, and it's really incredible. I recommend it for anyone who are just interested in the sort of style. So I learned a lot from that. So I wanted to create something like that, like as much as
Hmm.
could, obviously, like close as I could, But again, I think it looks pretty decent. Some bits actually came out better than expected because
Right.
sometimes the light hits right, the actors move to a position where it creates a beautiful frame. And
Hmm.
and literally go like it's very cliche, but go, okay, don't move. There, okay, we film there. And we sort of move everything just around that little bit I saw at the moment. So it was really
Right.
spontaneous in some points. And I think it feels like that, very spontaneous. Some people might not like it because of that reason, which is fine.
Right.
I think it's taste, but I think it worked.
Yeah, I think so too. And the
Yeah.
way that the actors are, you could tell that they wanted to act. You know how some movies you can tell they don't really want to act, but they have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that'd be awful. Well, I'm gonna say something probably. Yeah, I'm gonna say live now. But funny enough, I'm not gonna say too much because I want to respect my friend. But I had a friend where it was initially in the film, and we shot
Hmm.
scenes with him. Um, but it's one thing is it looks so great on camera, but
Hmm.
at the time it wasn't feeling well. So and because it was the villain, the initial villain I wanted from the film, it looks moody and it looks sort of which is probably look good for the camera for the scene, but
Hmm.
it was actually him not feeling great, so he actually couldn't continue filming. So I had to replace him with actually um, with Maggie, which is it plays Learza. Um, and then so yeah, so that's one of the few cases where it wasn't working and it was okay. But there's some
Right.
scenes that still you won't see him, but it's still him there. I think that you know what the beginning of the scene when the man is running and you see a shadow
Hmm.
behind him, that's actually him. That's my friend. But because it's only a shadow, you hardly see. It's very blurry. It's
Right.
fine. We could use it. But yeah, that's actually him, which we
That's
have
really
to
cool.
replace afterwards.
Did you guys get some extras from England to be part of the movie, or did you just use a lot of your friends?
Um, mm, no, we use actors, and normally extras, and normally the extras would be people who work in the location. So, for example, basically in the when Clay goes to the sort of boss headquarters, it's all green, and he's having a drink. The guy who serves the drink is actually the barman from the place, and we
Hmm.
said, look, can we film you? Always you have to sign like a release contract, to be able to use the
Hmm.
footage. So yeah, so basically it was very spontaneous, and people was especially there in London, they were all happy to be in the film. They were like, yeah, I mean, no one say no.
Right. Well, how could they? They're like, we want to be famous too, so let's be in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. No, they really enjoy the process. I mean, and it actually Clay for all the sort of up and downs you get in any production, it was actually a pretty smooth process. It was very
Mhm.
enjoyable, and even when there were hard moments where, for example, the last scenes, especially when it was in near winter where we finished, so it was very cold. So when I'm actually wearing jackets and scarf, our actors need to wear what they're wearing, like literally by the scene,
Right.
and the so as soon as I finish they will wrap up because it's really cold. But even then, everyone was in a very good mood. Everyone was really working to make the best film that we could make. And like I said, we just the best of friends. Like we really grew up really close
That's
after
good,
that. Yeah.
especially because you work on it for like a year or two together. And so it's better to be close than not be close.
Yes, but you hear some production people don't get along. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, how you do that? I mean, I'm sure it happens, but touch wood,
Right.
it hasn't happened yet, and it's not gonna happen.
Right. Well, you seem like a really nice guy, so I don't think it'll happen too much.
I hope so. Again, You never know. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty chill. I'm South American, so that comes with the blood. Um,
Right.
so sometimes that the fact I don't stress out can stress out other people, if you know what I mean. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's like, why aren't you panicking like me? It's like, well, why? Let's just find a solution.
Right. But South American people are so nice. They're so humble and hospitality, you know. You guys have really good hospitality.
I guess because where we're coming from, because it's not the easiest. If the way, I mean, I'm saying this comparing myself when I used to live in Venezuela to here, like you, it's a lot of work over there,
Mhm.
and we work them. So so actually, I was talking to a friend today, and in all honesty, if I have a meal a day, I'm thankful. I'm already saying I'm living the high life.
Mhm.
I don't take it for granted. It's a good thing I can afford 3 meals,
Right.
but I don't take it for granted. So yeah, I think that comes with the culture, and
Right.
yeah, we're pretty relaxed in that sense. But I can drive people mad, telling you.
Right. Do you guys in the comments have any questions for Carlos? You have anything you guys want to ask him while he's here? Um, because I know it's late there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine skating. I'm having a good time. Thank you for inviting me. It's really great.
Oh, you're welcome. So so do you have any upcoming projects that you're
Yes.
doing?
Well, we actually just released a feature film, produced, better half Ronald Walter directed, called Toxica. Now, which is going to be a little bit controversial here, but it's the first um, film in the Cardano blockchain.
Mhm.
If you heard anything about it, we're still learning about it. So basically we released it in the blockchain, because we finished shooting that film just 3 days or 5 days before the lockdown in
Mhm.
England was announced. And then, so I spent the whole pandemic lockdown in post production. But when we finished that, we found it a bit difficult because, especially here in England, and well, in the States too, the cinemas closed down, streaming services, which is bombarded many films. So I thought, well, we worked so hard in this film. Why are we gonna put it somewhere where, like,
Mhm.
they're gonna be lost in a ocean? So we end up in the blockchain basically. But I will promote it
Right.
better. Oh,
Rainbow
what question?
Freight's asking you a question.
Yeah.
Can you read it or you
Okay.
need to?
Yeah. My favorite one, I would say, maybe I was gonna say science fiction because I'm trying to think what films fit into that category. But so let's go with science fiction, I think, because we go then in those films we go Star Wars, we go Blade Runner, we go Alien, which it could be a horror film too. I mean, again, I like this. I like films that combine sort of genres. So, for example, I mean, I love Ghostbusters, for example, which is you can
Mhm.
tell it's a bit of a it's a comedy, definitely a comedy, but playing straight, so sort of playing straight comedy if you notice, and with
Mhm.
some supernatural and some horror elements, which is some scenes in Ghostbusters, the original one, they're proper
Right.
horror scenes. So
Mhm.
I love this sort of combination. But yeah, science fiction, I will go with Blade Runner, Alien, Star Wars, some of my sort of top films. Oh,
Those are
2001,
great films.
Space Odyssey is one as well. So many, so many.
There's so many good ones. It's hard to choose.
Yes, it always changes with the mood, because when people ask me what sort of the typical 5 films to an
Mhm.
desert island, I always find it difficult. It change. It's like
Right. Is there a genre of movie you want to direct? Is there a certain genre you want to try?
I feel comfortable with thrillers or drama thriller. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm working on a film which I cannot talk too much about, but will soon, and I will let you know.
Mhm.
And we work in this film, and it's a drama basically. It's a bit of a drama, but very very light drama, and more into, I don't know, like a coming on age film. Maybe I don't know how to. It's difficult to sort of put a label on the film, and it's not something weird. It's very straightforward. But
Mhm.
so yeah, no, I think, but I like everything that has everything. Like I mentioned, if something has some scenes that makes you laugh, but it's a sort of thriller, it's a
Mhm.
comedy, you know. Yeah,
Right.
I think that's. I don't think
I
I answered
think
your question, but
I think I think everything. I like everything, so you know,
what's your
I like
favorite?
being my favorite what?
Yeah, sort of
My
genre film,
favorite
or
movie
yeah,
or my favorite genre?
both.
Oh, my favorite movie is Goodfellas.
Oh yeah, okay,
I'm a mobster type of person.
nice. I think
But
you're in New York though. That's why.
well, I just moved here actually. I'm from Florida.
Ah,
I'm from Florida.
okay. So you moved there for a reason though. That's why.
Yes. I moved here to be with family. So I live in a small town in New York called Plattsburgh, New York. Nobody really heard of it or anything.
Okay.
And actually this town has a lot of history because it was part of the war in 1812 and stuff like that. So
Okay.
this town has like a lot of history and they have like ghost tours and all kinds of stuff here.
Wow. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna in June they actually have a ghost tour, so I'm gonna film it and put it on
Nice.
my channel.
Great.
Uh, Patrick's saying the Human Centipede. Have you seen that one?
I can. I cannot watch those films, and I don't. You know, I don't mean people like that is fine, but
I don't like it
that's
either.
no. When he's too much with the human nature, I get. I don't know. I don't. I can't handle it. Basically,
Right?
I do.
Yeah.
I like horror when it's fantastic horror, when I know it's not gonna happen, like, you
Right?
know, werewolf and vampires and that. But um, yes, I am
Yes.
based in the UK. Um,
Yes.
uh, so yeah, but when it's something like close to happening, when it's too close, you know, like, I mean, obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen, but the but it's so realistic, like, yeah, no.
Right. Yeah, I don't like the Human Centipede either. I
Mm,
only watched it once, not
no,
again.
no. I just watched the beats of the trailer and was like, nope, not for me. But
Right?
again, it's not for me. It's particular taste, but
Right.
I think, well, people still talking about it, so it must be a good, well crafted film. You know
I
that
think it's
that
considered cult classic, actually.
yeah, yeah, and then because probably the director wanted to create certain emotion and certain things for people who like that, so, and he succeeded. So yeah, that's fine. You know, just
You're
it's not my
good,
type.
Patrick. He's like, I had to ask, and I said, "You're good. You're all good. We're all friends here. Just don't ask anything bad. That's all I ask."
Yeah. It's fine. No, you can ask anything bad.
Because I do have to send this to I do have to send this to Babe You, so just don't ask anything bad. You watched
Okay.
you watched Human Centipede 1 and 2 and 3.
And
I
three.
didn't know that there was other ones. Very just very
Yeah,
good but disturbing, yeah.
yeah. And I think there's
3 was hilarious, so hilarious.
you mean the sort of
Human
so
Centipede
bad
you're
is
talking
good?
about. Hey Ricky, he's in the UK as well. My
Ah,
friend
cool.
Ricky.
Nice.
He's probably just getting off work.
Well, yes, it's late. Or when we're coming back from the pub.
Oh, oops. Oh, there we go. My computer, I hit something on my computer. Yeah, and he's saying Peter rocks from Bayview because he's Patrick. He also does screeners for Bayview as well.
Ah, nice. Great.
Mhm. So he
Oh,
might he
that's
might get your film at some point.
okay. I hope you like it, Patrick.
Yes. It was yeah, he's just coming from work. Ricky's saying he's just coming from work because he works overnight in one of the grocery stores there. I've
Okay.
heard of a couple of the grocery stores there. I've heard about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's many.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's this
So,
one, I forget what it's called because where I used to live in Florida, we had a whole bunch because Florida is a tourist place. So we had a whole bunch of people from all around the world come.
okay.
And they always talked about the UK grocery store, that it's similar to the grocery store that I worked at. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
You know, talking about it, what I mean is they'll be well, I'm that generation, the VHS sort of shop stores when you
Hmm.
actually. I mean, we go obviously blockbuster, but we're talking that even the smallest ones, sometimes independent ones that you have to have. So you will
Hmm.
used to go and you see the cover of the VHS, and then just see. Well, I hope
Yes,
that's
Patrick.
you know.
Yeah, I loved Blockbuster. Did you guys have those up there? Blockbuster.
We did, yeah, we did. Um, and it's a strange that phrase that we did. It's like at some point it was a massive blockbuster in the city I was living, and it totally gone now. But I used to like the smaller shops, the independent ones, and there
Right.
were very small people with you go to floors, and then
Hmm.
it was more intimate, and the selection will be a little bit more weird, more like towards like B movies, which are
Hmm.
my influences.
Right. Yeah, B movies are good. I like some B movies.
I
You
love
know,
B
some.
movies. I mean, I like to be surprised every now and then. I even go um for films well normally I got a group of people who recommend a bit good movie B movies. So yeah,
Mhm.
I enjoy them for what they are.
Right. Too bad you don't have Tubi over there. That's a streaming service. They have a lot of B movies on there. You
Oh
guys
no,
don't have it in the UK, unfortunately.
no, no, unfortunately, yeah. So it's a hunt. Sometimes I have to literally get them from eBay or something like that.
Right.
But yeah,
And your Netflix is different from our Netflix as well.
I think before it was. I think now it's very slightly, and maybe some TV shows you go there and vice versa. But I think I went to Texas 2 years ago to visit my
Hmm.
family. I got some family there, and I went to Netflix, and it's very much the same now.
How many films does Venezuela produce a year?
No idea, no idea. Actually, uh, w- not many. I'm sure of it. When I was there, there were two. I mean, there will be the one film for many years that got really popular and famous and got some awards, so people will know about it. But not many, and that's one of the reasons probably I came to England because if you want to have a future as a filmmaker, you need to go to a country who produce films.
Have a good night, Ricky.
Very nice.
Um, yeah. So yeah, the UK has a lot of really good films and everything too, and a lot of good shows over
Oh
there.
yes, yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Many shows, even the like Hollywood, have shot here in England now, a lot,
Hmm.
or in the UK. You know, like
Right.
Ireland, obviously
Hmm.
Scotland. Um, but many, I got many people already. Actually, people who worked on Clay, they're working in some series, um,
Hmm.
Apple Plus, Apple TV series
Hmm.
where they have actually shot in England. So yeah, no,
Right.
it's growing here.
Right.
Just
Would you ever direct like a Broadway play or something like that, or somewhere in a playhouse over there?
I don't think so. I've worked I work as a funny enough, I work shooting behind the scenes for plays and
Hmm.
that sort of style, and it was a lot of work. It's a lot of work, like for
Hmm.
the one show, and then almost like repeat the same thing the next show. And I thought, okay, no, draw the line here. I
Right.
respect these people. Incredible the work they do. Um, so because I was filming the behind the scenes. It was like, this is mental. So a lot of respect, but that's, yeah, no, I think I will stick to films.
Right. Do you think you'll ever direct a TV show at some point?
Probably. I mean, probably that's something I won't rule out. I obviously in back in my head. I mean, I'm always working on something I want to do, and after the next film, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make the next film. But if I have the chance and the TV show is interesting, and more importantly, if they allow me to direct, and if
Hmm.
they like my style, they hire me because they want to see something I do previously. So if
Right.
I can have certain, I mean, I'm not like I'm not gonna prima donna say, oh, I want all the control. Of course not. But if I have certain, saying to literally the direction of the
Right.
episode is, yeah, well, why not?
Hmm. I know earlier you said you got kind of like John Carpenter feels for this movie. Is he one of your favorite directors?
Yes, 100%. Like, love him, love his work so much. It's
Hmm.
so good. Is I mean, The Thing, for example, one of the
Hmm.
best films ever. Halloween.
Hmm.
Um, you go Big Trouble in Little China,
Hmm.
which is with Kurt Russell, and it's just one of my. I watch that film at least once a year.
I
It's just
actually just watched that film for the first time a few months ago.
no way.
Yes.
But how do you like it though?
Yes, I liked it.
Okay,
It was a
okay,
good film.
okay. So
I love John Carpenter because he could do everything. He can direct, he could produce, he can make music, he could do it all.
it's yes. I mean, I was gonna say because my intention when I was a filmmaker, I wanted to be in all the areas. So actually, I did work as a sound guy in
Mhm.
video games. So I work on Fallout New Vegas and World
Mhm.
of Warcraft, one of the expansions. I was
Mhm.
the dialogue coordinator, and then because I like to work in designing and audio,
Mhm.
then actually I have a band, so I got 3 albums out, music
Oh
bands
wow.
where the end song of Clay is by my band, and
Oh wow. What's the name of your band?
it's called the Badge. So it's like a
Uh-huh.
badge, but with instead of a G, is a J.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like
with
like like the Spanish version for it.
no, no, not even in Spanish. They sort of wanted to just misspell it because they wanted to be
Why
weird.
not?
I don't know why not. Um,
Right.
but it stays like that, and when people read it, they say, "Oh, the badgie." No, the badge. It doesn't make sense because I guess the pronunciation is
Mhm.
wrong, but that's what we call it. We go, yeah, 3 albums and so another album which is a compilation, and we're working on another one, and next month, touch wood.
Mhm.
And yeah, the end song is in clay, and the credits, and in the new production, we use them
Mhm.
4 tracks of
Oh wow.
our band.
Yeah.
So
I as I was watching the beginning of the movie, I was like, I really like that music, but I was trying to find if I could find the band or whatever it was because usually I love movie soundtracks. So I tried to find the band, but I couldn't find it.
it's available. It's available in Spotify. It's about 222,
Mhm.
and you just search Clash Redemption, and it will appear.
Okay, nice. So
Those
now I can
guys,
listen to it.
yeah, they are a couple, um, and they're incredible. They're really good.
Mhm.
Really like music. I work really close with them with the music. Not like I did anything with the music, but they will send me constantly demos. I will send them because one thing I did every time I shot, I sing during the day or during the night. Doesn't matter how
Mhm.
late it was, I will go and do a rough cut straight away
Mhm.
to see
Right.
what works, what doesn't work, if I have to do it again. So I will do that. Like doesn't matter how late it
Mhm.
was or how tired it was. I said. So it was very early on when I started sending him the sort of clips or scenes for them to start working out ideas,
Mhm.
and wanted, as you can hear, wanted theme tunes for each character too.
Mhm.
So so we get familiar with the character when they appeared, and the mood of the character, the combination. I mean, for example, we have a distinctive tan tan for Clay, so we got a
Mhm.
sort of keyboard for Una, which is crazy. And that's why when they met in one
Mhm.
scene, spoiler alert, and Clay's beating up Mercurio and Una is
Yes.
there, that music is the both themes combined. And
Mhm.
I don't know how they did that, but they did it, and it was really good, really really
It
good. And
was.
it, like I say, my favorite scene when Clay and Maya together in the same house is all blue,
Mhm.
and it's raining outside. Um, the music is, I think, is what it
Right.
make the scenes what it is. You know, I
Mhm.
love the music in that film.
Was it actually raining that day in that scene, or did you
Yes,
guys have
no, it was raining because I don't know why, because if you notice, there's a little bit of yellow tint and
Mhm.
red tint with the blue,
Yes.
and the yellow and red is actually my son at the time, probably was 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
My friend, which is actually a really good writer himself, called Lorenzo Fantini, and actually he's the one who wrote my Star Wars show film, fan film. Is them holding those lights, the red and the yellow lights,
Mhm.
really slightly, so I could have some definition on Clay in his, and it was raining, so I remember that because it was getting wet as we were filming the scene. I was like, oh, it's filmmaking, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Sometimes that makes the best scene if it's already raining. That way you don't have to throw
yeah,
water everywhere.
yeah. I mean, I live in England, so it was not too hard to find a day when it's rain. But I do like when it rains. I like the reflection. I like love
Mhm.
reflection and lighting. That's why, again, if you watch the scene and you screenshot, it's it rained earlier, so it created this really nice lighting with the rock, with sort of the floor, the ground.
Mhm.
I love that scene for just the texture. It creates
Right. Yeah. That's what drawed me to the film was the cinematography, the way that you filmed it. Like you could see all the lights were like really really like detailed, and you could see all the details in it. In
yeah,
some movies, even some of the Hollywood movies, you can't really see most of the detail. That's why I like more independent films versus
yeah,
Hollywood films, because you can actually take the time and do it.
yeah. And I mean, and to be fair, like if you see, like, I did crush the blacks more. That's why when you it's a shadow, you don't see too much what's in the shadows. So, but that's why you some cinematographers will probably have a little bit of a heart attack because no, too over the top. But they like, obviously they like more rich details. If it's a black,
Mhm.
it's certain shades of gray and blacks or you. But I was really influenced by Hellboy comic books, Mike
Mhm.
Mignola
Yes.
sort of style, where you can see the blacks are black and they're sort of a really harsh shadows. And then,
Mhm.
so a good example is when Clay is talking on the phone towards the end, and you see he's in red,
Mhm.
which obviously means the motion is seeing red at that point. He's really angry at the point, so that's
Right.
why the black and the blacks are very dark and very sharp in his face because he has a great face for cinema
Mhm.
actually. Um, so yeah, that was basically me trying to emulate Hellboy because I have some drawings. I have a
Right.
really good book by Mac Mignola called yes, it's awesome. I agree. They call the Art of Hellboy, and I remember using a lot of
Right.
references on the cartoon to do the colors and the shadows.
Right, and you can tell when what kind of mood plays in by the shadows and everything as well,
Exactly,
which
you
I
got
thought
it.
was interesting.
Yeah, well, Katie, not many people see that. Some people, well, like anything, if people probably want to watch a quick action thing and not watching details. They
Mhm.
probably won't like Clay as much as you do, where you notice that. And yes, that was very intentional.
Yes, well, I notice a lot of stuff in films. I'm that weird person that notices, like, a lot of stuff,
No, oh, no,
like,
weird.
you know, in
The
the
opposite of weird. Incredible. I for detail really.
Christopher Nolan's, The Dark Knight. Have you seen that one?
One of my favorite films too.
Okay, so you know the scene when, Heath Ledger's character is saying, "Do you wanna see a pencil disappear?"
Yes.
When he's talking to the bad guys or whatever, the thugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, So in that scene, if you look closely, you could see the green screen in the back. If you look closely, you can see part of the green screen in the back.
Oh wow, no way. Really?
Yeah, yeah. If you look closely,
I've
there's
seen
a
the film probably 10 times and I haven't catch that. And I pride myself to have a really good eye for detail. I haven't catch that detail. Okay.
mhm.
You got me
You can
curious.
see it.
As soon as we finish
It's
there,
real
I got to watch.
fast. It's real fast. So if you don't catch it, it's really really fast. But you can see like there's a part of the green screen you can see.
Wow. Amazing good
Mhm.
eye. So yeah, no wonder you notice everything in clay then.
Well,
It's not green
I
screen
like
though.
I appreciate films. That's why, like, when people ask me, why do you rate your movie so high? Or even if it's a bad movie, and I say because it takes time for the people to produce that movie, direct it, the
Yeah.
actors, everything else. So why would I dish on the movie that badly? You know?
Well, yes. I mean, and that's why I'm careful when I don't particularly like a film. I always say it's my taste, and not particularly it's a bad film. It's just I don't like it. Well, some people I don't like seafood, for example, and I cannot say seafood is bad. It's not obviously no, but I don't
Mhm.
like it. But everyone
Right.
can, you know what I mean. So of
Hmm.
course, I mean, and I think a good friend of mine said it really good. Was like no one is aiming to do a bad film. You know what I mean? Even the
Right.
product it was not the desired outcome, people work on
Hmm.
that. I mean, people put some, well, at least some people put really everything into what they're doing. So, yeah, you're right. It's a good way to respect, the labor of these people. Even the products could
Right.
be better or
Right.
could improve.
Right. You know, there's like some parts you're not gonna like and some parts you're gonna like, but
Mm,
at the end of the day, if you know that they did this hard work on it, you shouldn't really say, "Oh, I give it 1 star because it sucked." You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's your hard work.
yeah, I mean, granted, I actually, again, I don't take it for granted. If you literally told me you give a player free and you told me
Mhm.
why or what you think it is, I still respect that because I still think if someone say, look, this is what I think, this is my opinion, but it's still my opinion, but this is what I think. First of all, I can improve if I actually see
Mhm.
if I recognize those mistakes. If I don't disagree with you, if I disagree with someone like that, I was like, no, I'm sorry, I disagree. I love my film.
Right.
I think it's great.
Right.
Um,
I bet
but
I
yeah.
bet you were surprised that I tagged you when I reviewed the movie.
Oh yes, 100%. I was like, what? Wait, I was confused at the beginning because I thought, oh, it's out yet, and I was looking and it's not out. It's like, what happened? What's going on? It was great. It was super great because I was we got some reviews earlier when we came out, but so a recent review was like, why now? And it was really a nice surprise.
Right. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. It was like because like it's an I think of directors as like that's your artwork. So you're
Mm,
basically like when you direct the movie, you're basically taking it from nothing to putting it into your own words or how you're feeling or
yeah,
whatever, and then you're like, okay, let's do it this way, let's do it that way.
exactly.
And and I think it's an artistic piece of work. All films are.
Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously, I disagree with the films made by committee, which is very corporate, very flat. But you
Mhm,
notice that but hardly any independent film, even the bad films always. That's why I like B movies because even they're like probably not best production sometimes or not the best acting. There's always something enjoyable in those films. So
mhm.
yeah, I'm
I agree.
thankful for them. I mean, actually, one of the reasons they make Claire's Redemption is because of almost the death of that sort of style of B movie where
Mhm,
and we're talking about me B movie at the time, but still people filming on film. So that sort of quality, sometimes 60 mil, sometimes 35 mil, which is
mhm.
it just has that film touch,
Right.
unbeatable. When some
Mhm,
people just film in digitally now, as a B movie, what I mean in comparison. Um, so
mhm,
yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring that back a little bit. That sort of no sort of linear blockbusters of story, but more towards a nod to those big movies in the
Right.
um, mid to late 80s, which is, you know, what I grew up with.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything that you're writing on right now? Anything that you're writing?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, yeah, like I said, I'm working on in a third film, um,
Hmm. Patrick's
A24.
asking you, do you like A24 or AFC movies?
A24 is some can brings really nice film, crafted film. So yeah, A24. So yeah, I'm working on my third film.
Hmm.
I cannot talk too much about it because I can't.
Right.
But I will.
Wh-
I will let as soon as I can.
When
I will let you know.
when I start to see like something on your page, I'll be like, okay, what I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and it's like, when is it? You told me. Um. So yeah, and very fun writing the story at the moment. Writing the script is being really good fun, and it gets me
Right.
just excited to just obviously start pre-production. But I'm taking my time to have a solid script
Right.
this time. Um,
Right.
I don't know if we start filming the end of this year or maybe next year. Um, don't know yet about it. We still
Right.
um,
Do you ever get the idea like when you wake up in the middle of the night, you have to write it down if you're like asleep and then you get an
yeah,
idea in your head from a dream or something?
yes, all the time, constantly. I need to stop doing that because again, I can annoy people. I can literally being whatever and quit that moment and go and write something because yeah, it's always my brain's always
Mm.
working
Right.
for
Do you
it.
have do you have certain music that inspires you?
I like film scores.
Mhm.
Actually, today I was listening the Blade Runner by Vangelis
Yes.
score. I use it when I'm writing or working. Sometimes I'm working now sort of some VFX because I did
Mhm.
by the way the VFX of Clay, the arm thing,
Mhm.
and yeah, sometimes when it's a sort of non mechanical job, but it's a job which is just drawing. You need frame by frame. It's more patient. You get like a
Mhm.
nice film score that it hit the
Right.
spot,
Mhm.
especially
That's
late at
good.
night. The Blade Runner. Actually there is a nice in YouTube. There is a nice someone did a 8 hours long track with Blade Runner music with the sound, raining sound, and the sound of the film.
Mhm.
Genius, amazing. That's perfect for writing. When you need to write, need to be moody in a night, late at night. Put that, start writing. Is recommended.
Right. Are you still old school and write it down on paper, or do you get your laptop and write it?
I do laptop because I do mm, for fun. The fun of it, I do typewriter. Um,
Mhm.
I do a typewriter just to because I like the sound. And when I was a kid, I had a typewriter, so I like it. It's not being pretentious. It's me being a kid. I'm playing with a toy. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
Um, but then I go to the computer because I have a really terrible handwritten
Handwriting?
handwriting, which I don't understand myself after I go back and I was like, what the hell is this? So
Right.
yeah, so I I use the laptop straight away.
Well, I have really bad handwriting too, but I say artistic people have the worst handwriting anyway.
Then I'm the biggest artist of the world because it's horrendous. Mine. I mean, I have to write now all in sort of capital letters. So now, like,
Mhm.
because cursive, the way I learned at school, no way, no one can understand that.
Right.
Not even
Yeah,
me.
I look at cursive and I'm like, "What? What did you write?" Because I can't read some people's cursive sometimes because of the way that they write it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I've been meaning to improve my handwriting, but yeah, no. I'll go from with my MacBook and I
Right.
write the scripts there. Yeah,
Do you like reading books? Have you ever
I
had any
love
books inspire you?
I love reading books. Read um, and because I'm moving and working a lot, and sometimes I need to work on certain things, I go used to audiobooks.
Mhm.
So and sometimes I'm reading seven at the same time. I love comics as well, so
Mhm.
I read comics. But I do read like a practical book, a book for learning something, or a science fiction book or fiction book,
Mhm.
or historical book as well. I like a lot. So I'm reading now. I'm revisiting Lord of the Rings with Alan Sarkis. What else I'm
Mhm.
reading? I'm reading a book about the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm yeah reading a lot about them. But I just finished called Shout, which was a more I think was one of the authorized biographies at the time. And then I'm reading a book called Know Your Brain. I can't remember the title. I'm not reading it. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, something like yeah. But yeah, I read a lot. I love reading.
Me too. It's a good way to not watch films all the time and TV all the time.
Yes, yeah, and I'm conscious of that because sometimes you can get into because I like anime as well, so I get to watch series of Attack of Titan, and
Mhm.
I start
I
binge
love
watching
anime
for
too.
yeah,
Do
it's
you,
great.
do you want to direct an anime maybe someday?
I would love
Like,
to actually. That's actually yeah, I would love to do create one and work on one. Don't know what at the moment. Probably
right.
anime version of Clay, but yeah, no, that's
That would actually be a kind of cool graphic novel. Clay would
yes,
be a cool
yeah,
graphic novel,
I
especially
agree.
because it's about like he's like a like the gods banned him to Earth or whatever, the case may be. So it would be actually a really interesting graphic novel.
Yes, because you have a little more freedom to expand, explains a little bit more his origins and go on for that. So yeah, no, I would love to. It's still in the
Hmm.
plans. It's a sort of
Right.
putting down, thinking that's something I will tackle at
Hmm.
some point. Definitely.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that would be
even
really cool.
yeah, I agree.
I
I
would
agree.
read it.
I really do.
I love graphic novels. I was actually at a bookstore today, and it was a used bookstore, and they had an old Batman comic that I haven't seen in a while.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I recently I recently got the first Ninja Turtles comic,
Mhm.
and it's interesting. It's very similar to it's where the first film was inspired from, which is actually the first film is still a great film. Holds the
Mhm.
costumes by Gene Henson workshop was amazing.
Mhm.
Um, and the first comics is very brutal. Is like bloody sometimes,
Right.
which is obviously you're not used to the Ninja Turtles because they become more kid friendly. But at the beginning, they were like the men business. So I got that recently, so I'm really enjoying it.
That's good. It's good to be like all different types of genres and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, because you learn from all of them, and you can take from each
Mhm.
of them things that will help you enrich your work.
Those Ninja Turtle comics are so different from what. Yes.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I remember the first time they don't have the colors bandanas, so
Mhm.
what you call, and it was confusing because they're all sort of the same color. I think they're all red, and
Mhm.
but then the weapons and you got the personalities, but yeah, it's so different. I'm loving it. I'm reading at the moment. It's like I got the sort of big collection of the first comics that came out,
Mhm.
and yeah, I do that when I take some breaks. I go back to the comic, and yeah, it's very good fun.
Sometimes you have to take breaks. You can't look at the computer screen forever or whatever you're doing forever.
It's difficult though. It's difficult. I'm a bit of a workaholic, and my favorite. I mean, they literally say, "What's your favorite?" Someone asked me, "What's your favorite day?" I say, "Monday." It's Mondays because I love, and I'm sure any workaholic feels the same. Um,
Right.
so yes, I need to force myself to take breaks, and I do sometimes go into I go for long walks with my
Mhm.
audiobooks, and it's a story audiobook, or even play video games. To just
Mhm.
take a break. But it's difficult when you have a creative mind, which I think well everyone has. But you know, when you work on something like this, your brain's almost switch on all the time. So
Right.
yeah, it's difficult
Exactly.
to find the switch of your
Hmm.
brain. But so I like creating anyway. I don't sleep that much anyway, so I'm not
Right.
sure if that good. I don't know
I
how
told
good
him
that is.
I told him it was too late for him to be on. And he's like, "No, it's okay. I'm up late." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Easy.
You know, because the time difference is like 12 hours, I think.
No, 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 no. It's now he is 15 to 12.
It's 6:45 here, p.m.
I'm bad in math, but it's like 6 hours then? 5, 6 hours?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's but yeah, did you do anything fun this weekend with your family? Did you have a good weekend with your family?
Actually, I did. I went to with my kids and we watched the new Doctor Strange film,
Oh, I watched it too.
but directed by Sam Raimi. I enjoyed it. Um,
Mhm.
obviously, you know, you can be very critical of Marvel now because it never gonna be the same as the previous
Right.
films. End up with Endgame, which is so epic. But
Right.
I did enjoy it. I think it has good moments of Sam Raimi. It's great to see Sam Raimi direct again in a sort of
Right.
big film. So, you know, my kids me enjoyed it. So yeah.
Yeah,
What about
I
you?
saw it on Saturday. I went on a date with my fiance and we both watched it.
You liked it? Oh,
It was all right. That's why I haven't done a review on it because I have
mm,
mixed reviews on this movie.
right.
Just because I mean, like, I like Sam Raimi because he's a good director. Some of his movies are good, um,
Yeah.
but some of it I didn't like because they put a. Have you seen the Disney Plus show What If? Have you seen that show yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, they
Mm.
put some of that element in there, and I'm
Uh,
just like, no, why did you do that?
I know which one is in you mean, and I don't wanna spoil to people obviously, but yeah, I know what's in you mean. Even I didn't watch the What If. I felt that was shooting into that, and that's
Right.
the problem with these big corporations making these films. But Sam Raimi is very individual
Mhm.
filmmaker, so you can feel this. Well, we need to do this. It's a thing we need to have because
Right.
reasons, you know. So
Right.
yeah, is you sort to compromise there as a filmmaker. So I mean, it's fine. It comes with a
Right.
paycheck. I
Right.
mean, I'm saying it's all. It just if you wanna work with Marvel, it's their playground, so their rules.
Right.
So,
Maybe someday I'll see you direct a Marvel movie.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I'm shooting myself a job here, but and maybe if they go to another direction, probably a little bit more something more experimental. I mean, to be fair, James Gunn did a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy. He had like
Mhm.
and you can tell it's a James Gunn film, which I really like. So yeah, I mean, yeah, what the hell? Why not? Let's
You
do
have
something
to
like that.
reach for the stars. There you go.
But see, Marvel is not my star. I think I go further stars there.
Do you like DC better than Marvel?
It's again, it depends on the actual product. You know,
Mhm.
I love for example, Iron Man, the first one,
Mhm.
with the first one, the very first one. I love that film. That film, you know, if you saw some behind the scenes, was made without a script either. They were improvising
Mhm.
a lot, writing on the spot, very spontaneous, which just reminds you something there. You know, the same
Mhm.
traits of great filmmaking. So something like that is great. Now I'm not sure if it become too a little bit too because to be fair, they have to follow certain now rules. When they did the first Iron Man, there was no rule created. It was creating the rules or
Right.
what it was gonna become later. So I think I would love to direct something epic, of course, but probably in a better more, it's still an independent setup because I will
Right.
have more freedom. And I think, to be fair, I think that will allow me to create a better film. So, for
Mhm.
example, A24. A24 for me would be a good aim. You know,
Do it. Do it all, Mr. Carlos. You never know what you're going to enjoy the most.
that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, and I'm not gonna say no to anything. Of course, I
Hmm.
will. And I like be challenged. I like to try new
Right.
things. But yeah, like I think Patrick was saying, I think was you mentioned the A24 is a good
Hmm.
is a good place to create
Right.
something big-ish but very
Hmm.
individual.
Right. Yeah. That's why I like indie films because you have more creativity over Hollywood films. You don't have as
100%.
much creativity as you were saying.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I watch a lot of indie films because I get like a lot of screeners for indie films through like film companies.
That's
So I
amazing.
watch a lot of them
That's
as
great.
well.
That's great. I mean, yes, I do enjoy indie films a lot and doing me movies. I enjoy it, but I do enjoy my blockbusters. Don't get me wrong, but
Hmm.
no, yeah, all sorts of films, and
Hmm.
I can obviously be more forgiving with indie films than
Right.
blockbuster,
Right.
because I know how it is to make an indie film, and all the
Right.
blood, sweat, and tears that comes with it.
Right.
So
Like
yeah,
like how like when you guys go about filming the films, how do you get film companies to look at your movie? Do you just send them to them or something?
you know
Or
what?
did they just come to you?
You mean for distribution?
Yes.
Is be of both. Be of both. When for Clay, the people we chose, we sort of talked previously. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the first when we first released it, and they were they looked my previous work. They were so confident. Say, oh, I
Hmm.
think you're gonna produce something decent, watchable at
Hmm.
least. I was okay. So we did a deal with a new previous hand, you know. Um, so we were in many outlets Amazon Japan, Amazon US, UK, Apple
Hmm.
TV, Google Play, I believe too.
Hmm.
Um, but I remember many people watching in Poland. I remember that sort of sent me the numbers. Like, a lot of people watching in Poland, but but unless you have got this exposure of millions, you don't make much of a return
Right.
for in these services platforms.
Hmm.
So that's the reason we sort of decided to re-release it. And in this case, I think the agent to get it through to Bayview
Hmm.
contact us,
Right.
reach out to us. I think watch the film, we watch the thing and say, look, I think it's very good. Probably we can find a better deal for you. And say,
That's
okay,
awesome.
yeah.
Right.
So what the hell not?
Right.
Yeah, Bayview is here. So I'm looking forward to working with
Right.
them.
They're a nice company.
Yes, yeah, that's uh, that's what we felt too. Otherwise, we
Hmm.
wouldn't give in Clay.
Right. And I think everybody should watch this movie when it does come out, when it is re-released, because it was such a good movie. It's like one of those movies where the character is kind of broken, but he doesn't know what he wants to do, and then he's like these people are coming after him, and it's just one of those movies that's action packed and it draws you in. Like I felt like I was in the movie. That's why I liked it so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I think
You're
I got good feedback for the world and
welcome.
we created in that film.
And you could
And
just be immersed in the world.
yeah, and that was important. And that's what we
Mhm.
are with Clay. And you right about Clay, literally right. He's a broken character from the very beginning, and sort of trying to break a bit of a rule there. So, you got these rules sometimes, and I got it a lot by the way when I writing previous scripts. He
Mhm.
says, "Oh, the hero needs to be likable. The hero needs to be likable. He needs to be a nice guy or save the cat or
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that." But I thought, well, I don't want to do that. I want to actually start with a broken
Right.
lead and trying doing his job. He's literally doing his job. I just want out the job because he was promised to be out the job, and that's what he wants. So he doesn't care about people. He just only care about
Right.
him because he's been there for many times. So that's why every time he does something small for someone, or he feels a certain care for him, he's awkward, doesn't know what
Mhm.
to do. He doesn't know how to express it. for him, it's a scene where actually says put his number to Maya, which actually is part of another scene which you been included in the film. So probably doesn't make much sense. But then when they're in the cafe and Clay's interacting with Maya, that's a lot.
Hmm.
That's for him is the probably the most interaction we have with a proper human being in
Right.
many years. So that make the moment special. And again, towards the end, those hence the name Redemption when it goes to spoiler alert, save the day. Just not to say too much.
Yeah.
It feels bigger. It feels
Hmm.
when it's someone who actually started don't care about anyone else, only him.
Hmm.
We turn that around towards the end. Earn. You need to be earned. It cannot be like I'm a good guy now. No, you're still the same, but you learn a little bit about yourself and others close to you. You know.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah. So we wanted to create that impact, and I hope I did. I think actually a key with his performance did an amazing job. So I think that came
He did
across.
he did a great job. I
Mm.
really enjoyed his character and
Mm.
what he put in towards the character.
Oh
And
yes. Oh yeah.
even his girlfriend in the movie, she was a really good actress.
Yes.
Even though that it was her first film, she did
First
a
film.
brilliant job.
It's incredible. The intuition and the chemistry of those two, and the chemistry of everyone. I mean, the chemistry of the main guy Johnson, John Brennan is incredible.
Mhm.
Actually, to be fair, he's a good writer himself and an amazing performance. And I remember writing dialogue for him, and I used to say, "Oh, I think I can." My character will say this way, and I will let
Mhm.
him, and it will be 1,000 times better. So yeah, it was. I cannot take credit of the film because we did it. It was everyone who just put so much
Right.
work on
And
the
you can
craft.
tell it was a teamwork. It was a teamwork
Yes,
film, you can tell.
100% teamwork. Like a little director. That
Mhm.
and that's it is. It's like I go like the vision, but the craft, the everything, how everything, the performance, the set design, costume, uh, everything surrounded it is what it make the film. And
Right.
yeah, it's 100% teamwork.
I believe it. It was a really good film, and hopefully it will be released soon so you guys can check it out. And
By in this link, it's gonna be in this link, right?
what? Yeah. No, I linked your Instagram page so people could follow you on there, and I linked your IDBM so people could find you
Sure,
there
can check
as well.
check it out. Check out when I'm working now, working next.
Yes, so
Um,
that way people can connect to you.
yeah, and please subscribe to Katie. She's amazing and she get great reviews and she gonna review all my films from my career from now on. Right, Katie?
Yes, if you send it to me, I will.
Okay, cool. Deal. Another
All
deal.
right. And I hope you guys have a great night. Tomorrow night I'll be back here at 5:30 p.m. on is there a YouTube channel? Fairy Dust is asking if there's a YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube
Yes,
channel?
yeah. You actually just Google my name, Carlos Boellinger, and I think that's the YouTube channel.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll have to
Thank
go
you.
back and put it in there. I'll follow your
Yes, you
YouTube too.
can. You can see there is you can find the trailer for Clay there, and you can find a Star Wars short film I did a few years ago called Jedi's Code, which I recommended because most of the team of part of the team of Clay is there too. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
it's a nice little short film.
Casey's
Fun.
saying thank you for coming. Great review and great show. And he's saying thank you for coming on, Carlos. He's one of my moderators on the channel. So
Thank you
and
for
he's a
watching.
good friend. So tomorrow night I'll be back here at 5:30 p.m. and Rainbow Fright will be on Creators Corner. I hope you guys check that out. And earlier today I did a book haul, so I hope you guys check that out. And I hope everybody has a great evening and see you guys tomorrow. Bye everybody.
Bye.